Hi, this is Robin Hart of the Home Loans with Hart team of CMG. This is our weekly video where we share with you insights on housing and mortgage rates. Let's dive on into the rates and check out what's been happening for the last week. All right, the average 30-year fixed came in at a 7-day average of 6.9%. Now that's below where it was the previous week by about 0.2%. The 15-year fixed came in at an average of 6.37%. FHA is hanging out at 30-year fixed of 6.36%. Now, inventory has been a hot topic in the market these days as the country continues to shift its residential happiness location. Active listings are currently up 29% year over year, but check this out. They still remain 21% below 2019 levels. The bulk of the excess are located in 7 states. That's Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Idaho, Tennessee, Texas, and even Utah. Now, as we see shifting in the marketplace and shifting in people's locations, we're also seeing a shift in consumer housing trends. And Zillow just released their consumer housing trends report for 2024. Key demographics of the first-time homebuyers are continuing to change, as well as with the average homebuyer today, their age is actually 44, the eldest of the millennials. Now, and I can't believe I'm saying that. Now, about 43% of those are living in the South where the inventories are the highest. Nearly half of those homebuyers have a household income well over $100,000, which is great news for where housing prices are. Other interesting items of note, 94% of mortgage buyers secure pre-approval before they go buying, yet only about a third of those apply to multiple lenders. 48% are putting down less than 20%, with savings being their primary funding source. And 94% of those buyers use online resources, which is hugely important to your marketing. Everything should be online. 2 big important areas of priority, 83% prioritize air conditioning, which I'm with them, certainly in Texas or in Florida. And while 70%, they prioritize private outdoor space because everybody needs a little earth. Also, for the first time, climate risk is impacting their shopping habits, with 73% considering risk from like wildfires, flood, extreme temperatures, tornadoes, and hurricanes even. And that's when choosing the location of buy-in. And finally, the average home buyer is getting older, as I mentioned. The typical U.S. first-time home buyer average age reached a peak of 38, whereas previously it was at 33. The average age of all home buyers has hit 56 overall, which is up from 49 last year. Now, typical repeat buyers' age has also increased from 58 up to 61 during that same time period. So things are getting interesting as people are buying homes at older ages. Now, in other news, homeowners did pull out an estimated $48 billion in mortgage equity, and that was only in Q3 of this year. They're using their equity to fight back against expenses that are actually stretching them to the limit. We're talking like expensive cars and car payments, high credit card debts, educational debts, and even investments. So go equity, because you can't get that from renting. And the final numbers are in for the October jobs numbers. The U.S. added only 12,000 jobs in October. However, the unemployment rate remains steady at 4.1%. And there is some big news that's definitely been drowned out with the noise of the election results. The Federal Reserve cut interest rates today by another quarter. They are lowering the rate to a range of 4.75 to 5%. Now, they also still anticipate another rate cut, which might be small but mighty, by another quarter in December. Now, this is important because typically rates do not decrease with the first rate cut, which was half a point. They actually typically decrease with the second or in between the second and the third. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen with mortgage rates now that the election is over and the Fed has agreed to start cutting rates. So cool. Now let's get into some fun stuff. This is kind of fun. Gen Z versus millennials. Who paid more in rent? Really? Okay. So here's what's funny. It turns out all feel screwed and don't like paying rents. Or maybe it's just easier if mom and dad pay it. But apparently millennials have been feeling the squeeze, with the majority spending over 30% of their income on rents back in 2012, where they had less than 60% of Gen Z is paying the same amount. So it turns out both are normal, okay? Current conditions show that Gen Z renters are spending as much as 40% of their income on rents due to low housing inventory and high demand. But that kind of shifts over time. So what's interesting is the same thing happened with millennials, okay? So Gen Z, Gen X, everybody has their moment of low housing inventory and high demand. Now, regional differences do highlight a few cities that attract younger adults and actually squeeze their wallets even further, which may be trending and creating that trend towards 40%. Now, we're talking areas like Austin, Texas, Houston, Texas, even New York, Miami, Atlanta, and of course, LA and San Diego. These areas have high density, high rent costs, and high attraction for young adults. Now, rent burdens for young adults also peaked back in 2011. That was as a result from the 2008 housing crisis. Now, more recently, rent spiked again post-pandemic demand. So oddly enough, additionally, amenities have also increased, and those are actually helping to spike those prices as well on current renters. Now, these amenities have gotten so much better than what they did back when I actually rented. We're talking like they're demanding outdoor venues, local convenience stores, restaurants, higher security systems, crazier pools, outdoor living, along with some gyms. So we didn't have that. We got lucky to have a parking space. So I don't know what to tell you, but yeah, everybody feels that squeeze. It's not much fun. It's always easier when mom and dad pay rent. And this is actually interesting, and I never knew Buffett said this, but when the Oracle of Omaha speaks, people listen. I especially listen. Man's got more money and more sense on finances than most of us. So Buffett laid a bold claim that if 800 companies paid taxes like Berkshire Hathaway, no Americans would ever need to pay federal income taxes, Social Security taxes, or even estate taxes. He would just wipe it all up. Now, my ears peaked up when I heard this, and now I'm wishing he was on the ballot box for POTUS. Apparently, Buffett explained that Berkshire Hathaway sent over $5 billion in federal taxes to the U.S. government just this year alone. He furthermore emphasized that his company and its shareholders feel a responsibility to contribute to the country's economy, particularly because the U.S. system has provided many opportunities and advantages. Now, currently, Berkshire Hathaway, Berkshire Hathaway pays about 21% in federal income tax rate on its earnings from investments. So Warren, you've got my vote. Please finally run. I wish that were true. Now, rates did rise over the 3 weeks prior to the election. And if you ever wanted to know what loan officers look like, when they felt like, well, in the last 3 weeks, when they were getting up every single morning, thank you, Chris Farley. All right. At the end of every video, we do try to address when is the best time to buy. The best time to buy is when there's fear in the streets and your competitors are sitting on the sidelines, waiting on rates to drop back down to 3%. So hint, they are not getting anywhere close to that. So go ahead and buy now. If you like this video, please follow us on any of our social media outlets. We're on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and the artist formerly known as Twitter. Thanks for watching and hanging out all the way to the end. Video. I'm Robin Hart with the Home Loans of Hart team, where we are here to help you build wealth through the financing of real estate. And I'll catch up with you next week. Y'all have a great one. Bye.